In this video, we are going to solve some radical equations. The video is going to do just these first four problems. The directions are solve the following equations, check for extraneous solutions, and identify all solutions. So one of the big things with solving radical equations is you're going to solve the equation, and you are absolutely 100% going to need to check your answer. 100%. You cannot not do it. Okay? So first thing I want to do is get x by itself. Now, there's nothing else attached to this radical, so all I need to do is think about what is the inverse operation, the opposite operation to a square root. And the opposite to a square root is to square something. What you do to the left side, do to the right side. Square and square root cancel. That's the whole point of inverse operations. And I happen to have a calculator sitting next to me, so 16 squared is, I think, 256. Yeah, it is. 256. Now, I think that's the answer. But, as I said, you must check your work. This is not optional. This is not even something I have as an option. As your math teacher, I have to check all of my answers to these problems. Now, what does it mean to check something? It means you're going to take this answer that you think is what you're going to get for x and replace it in the original problem. Now, obviously with this problem, there was only one step really to it, but you want to make sure that if there was a multi-step problem, you go back to the original written problem. So we've got the square root of x, which in this case we think is 256, equals 16. So I want to actually take the square root of 256, and I'm going to get that 16 is equal to 16. That is a true statement. Because it's true, I know that that's the answer for x. Okay? Now, I'm going to keep stressing every time we do this, you have to check your work. It's not that you don't know how to do the problems. It's part of doing the problem is checking your work. Okay? All right, so problem number 2. First thing I want to do is get the root by itself. So what do I mean by the root? I mean, this piece right here, I want completely isolated if I can. And I can in this case because I can subtract 4 from both sides. So those are gone. I've got the square root of x is equal to 9 minus 4 is 5. Now, this is the point, kind of like in the last problem, how do you get rid of a square root? Well, every operation in math has an opposite operation. The opposite operation to square root is squaring. So I'm going to square both sides. Square and square root cancel. X is equal to 5 squared is 25. Now, I think that is my answer. But immediately, I am going to check my work. And again, this is now where I'm going to take this back to the original problem. So the square root of x, which we think is 25, plus 4 equals 9. And all I'm going to do is simplify this left side and make sure it turns into the right side. So square root of 25 is 5. 5 plus 4, 9 is equal to 9. That is a true statement. So yes, x can equal 25. No problem so far. All right, let's slide on down to problem number 3 here. Okay, so is the root all by itself? In this case, yes, because what's inside the root, I'm going to have to get rid of the square root first before I can get x by itself. So in this particular problem, I am going to immediately square both sides. Square and square root cancel so that I have x minus 1 left on the left side. 10 squared is 100. And to solve this, or finish solving to get x by itself, I'm going to add 1 to both sides. And I believe that I would like x to be 101. However, you need to check your work. Okay? So I'm going to check back in the original problem. So x was 101, we think. So 101 minus 1 equals 10. So that would be the square root of 100. So yes, 10 equals 10. That is a true statement. So I can go ahead and box up x does equal 101. All right. Last problem for this video. Problem number 4. First thing I always want to do is find my root and get rid of anything that's on the same side as that root. In this case, that means I need to add 2. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So 7 is equal to the square root of x plus 3. To get rid of the square root, I'm going to square both sides. So square and square root cancel. On the right side, I have x plus 3. On the left side, 7 squared is 49. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3 from both sides. So x, I think, is going to equal 46. But the only way I know for certain is to check my work. Okay? So back in the original problem, and I'm just replacing x with what I believe it to be, which is 46. So I'm going to simplify up this right side here. So 46 plus 3 is 49. Square root of 49 is 7 minus 2. Yes, I'm going to get 5 is equal to 5, so that's true. So that does tell me that 46 is my final answer. All right, so that's problems 1 through 4 of solving some radical equations. I'll put up a second video that goes through problems 5 through 8. If you have any questions or concerns about these problems, please let me know. I hope this makes some sense in terms of solving, and you must make sure that you check for extraneous solutions.